Good morning, everyone. Well, when I saw the agenda for this morning, I was really worried that this leadership breakfast would somehow morph into a roast, and I guess I was right. But truly, I'd like to thank Donna, Len, Mark, for your really kind introductory remarks. And actually, I hope that no one will take my picture now until I have a chance to recover and stop blushing. The comments are not true, but entertaining. That's okay. And many thanks to the Federation for hosting this 10th anniversary leadership breakfast and honoring me with this award. It's truly meaningful and something I do honestly cherish. And a special thanks go out to my many friends and colleagues present here this morning. Your support, your encouragement have been crucial enablers through many key moments in my life and my career. I don't know how I can offer proper recognition for the role of my wife, Carol, my wife of 47 years. Her presence as a role model has unquestionably been the major impetus for virtually all of my community activity. And as well, it was Carol who counseled me to just jump into the deep end of the pool of entrepreneurship in the late 70s, for which I'm very thankful. It gives me great pleasure to have my son, Nate, here, along with his wife, Susan, especially my two grandchildren. I'm sure no one's noticed, Jared and Dahlia. Say hi. I think all of us here in this room are engaged in the process of trying to create a better world for them and for their offspring. At this instant, I sort of feel like the recipient of an Academy Award, and as long as the music doesn't start playing, I want to spend just a few more minutes reflecting on one important aspect of my own career, my lifelong development. And the punchline of my comments is, yes, you can teach an old dog new tricks. I graduated from Columbia College in New York in 1963, and in the ensuing roughly 50 years, I have had 7 distinct careers, each roughly 7 years in duration. Do the math, comes out. Now, I feel compelled to make a Jewish connection here since this is a Federation event. So please consider the precept of the sabbatical year, the Shvi'it or Shemitah year. It occurs in a 7-year cycle. And every 7 of these sabbaticals add up to an even more special year, the Jubilee year or Yoval. And the Kabbalists consider 7 a sacred division of time, hearkening, of course, from the 7 days of the week of creation, after which God rested. Now, I prefer to think of this actually somewhat non-spiritually as nothing more than evidence of the so-called 7-year itch. Now, my journey began with my graduate studies in particle physics at Columbia. And after completing my PhD, I landed at Stanford, a newly minted postdoc at SLAC. That's where I met Len. And half a year later, I was reborn as an academic computer science professor, teaching and doing computer science research. That research led me to my next transition into the world of software products, the customer marketplace. Instead of publishing scholarly papers and speaking at august conferences. The inspiration of Atari's Nolan Bushnell and Carol's intervention led me to jump ship once again, this time to launch my entrepreneurial career. And that's when I dragged my dear friend Len, kicking and screaming from his academic career at Carnegie Mellon, and we co-founded our first startup, Nestar Systems, and then later from its ashes founded Network General. That's the one that went public, and the first one went up in smoke. Now, while I had no formal business credentials, I did get my MBA on the job through the process of trial and error, largely error. Len was the technical leader, and I still pretended to be up on the technology, but my role as CEO was running the business, worrying about its financing, and as Len so aptly described, fostering the development and engagement of an incredibly talented team of individuals. They were the company. After Network General went public and subsequently merged with McAfee Associates, I transitioned once again from the world of quarterly profits and shareholder relations to becoming the executive director of a nonprofit organization called Smart Valley. I thought I understood something about running organizations and nonprofits because of my philanthropic support, but I can assure you that being responsible for running a nonprofit is a far cry from running a for-profit company. And we salute Jim and all the people here who are running the Federation. It is quite a challenge. During this period, that was my first retirement. I was very active as a board member of numerous nonprofit organizations, some of the acronyms, the ALF, CFSV, WID, San Jose Museum of Art. Donna mentioned the predecessor to Nementa, RNI, the Redwood Neurological Institute, was involved in the Arthritis Foundation, and so on. But once again, my so-called retirement came to a crashing end due to a fateful call I received on behalf of the U.S. Department of Justice. I was recruited to head up an organization responsible for monitoring and ensuring Microsoft's compliance to the antitrust settlement that they signed with the government in 2002. And so, with no background in matters legal, I was thrust into a never-ending dueling match with Microsoft as they pushed the boundaries and constraints of their obligations under their legally binding settlement agreement with the government and numerous states' attorney general. And once that 7-year stint concluded, was this then the time to hang up my boots and head off to the golf course? Nope, not the path for me, as you might have guessed. I'm now a very active chairman of a new pharmaceutical startup called Retrotope, learning all about the world of biotech. I was very fortunate to be present and participate in the birth of the personal computer revolution, as well as the subsequent explosion of the internet. But nothing has prepared me for the prospect of bringing drugs to the market that we are convinced will cure incurable and fatal diseases. Not one disease, rather a collection of them, all having underlying neurological failures, but across differing organs in the body, the retina, the spine, the brain, and so on. Our company is on the threshold of our first human trial. In the next few months, the first patient will take a capsule of our magic compounds, and we're off to the races. The next few years, or more likely a decade, will tell the tale for this breakthrough approach to preventing the ravages of diseases often associated with old age. So what's the bottom line? I suppose I could still be a software engineer working for IBM, wearing my white shirt and narrow black tie, had I not leapt into the unknown in 1979 at Carol's insistence. Surely, we are each individuals, and our training and comfort level guides the path we take through life. But I think, and I recommend, about every 7 years, the time comes to consider rejuvenating your brain muscle and taking on a new and challenging career change. So with that, I hope I've proved to you, by example, that old dogs can learn new tricks. And thank you. right there.